I used to live in a psychic city. I never knew what would happen in a day. I might be looking out the window, and a friend might say, come on over, come on over, come on over, we're having a party for come on over, come on.
Joined with me tonight are my esteemed colleagues. I'm excited. We've got the tarot medium, my friend Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too shabby. It's good to have you. And also, as always, we have Suzanne with us on the dais, the panel of psychics, folks. So, guys, you know, I was thinking about the work that we all do, and you've been doing it for how many years now, Chris?
Professionally, I didn't realize this, but I did a client when I was 17 years old, and they actually just came back to me as a repeat client and told me everything that was accurate that landed. I forgot all about that reading, so approximately over 20 years, but then I just started full-time 2 years ago.
Fantastic. Okay. And Suzanne, you've been doing it for like almost as long, right?
Yeah, well, almost as long. You know, I mean, I first started doing readings when I was probably in my 20s, which is a lot longer ago, as it turns out. But this, like you, Chris, I did a long time without it being like something that I did professionally. So it's about maybe 15, 20 years now professionally.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. And of course, I've been
longer than
around.
you think.
Longer than you. Well, the time flies when you're having fun. And, you know, so the idea I've been thinking about is like, what is it for? What are readings for? And the utility of them, what people get from them. It's such a rudimentary question that I've never even had to think of the answer for that. And I'm thinking, yeah, you know, what are we doing and why? And what are our motivations? So feel free to weigh in and chime in on that. And also callers, when you do call in tonight, if you have a comment or you want to share an experience you've had with one of us, please do as well. Yeah. So Suzanne, what do you think readings are for? Mm-hmm.
What are they for? Well, I've always thought it was about connection and people wanting to connect with themselves in a way through the information that we get, and in that way, a healing can kind of take place. And for us, it's a different question. What is it for? Or maybe it's the same question. What is it for the psychic or card reader or medium? Is also you're connecting with yourself, you're connecting with the client, and you're connecting with source. So it just, you know, makes for a lovely exchange all around. And when people are seen, I don't know, I feel like healing takes place.
That's interesting. Yeah, you know, it makes me think about when something's wrong in our life or something's gone catastrophic. It's this idea of you're disintegrated almost. You're not integrated in your life. And I know whenever I'm in a state of chaos, I compartmentalize things to try to get control of them, and it causes me to kind of lose the sense that everything is part of a bigger picture. And to your point, Suzanne, when you're having a reading with a gifted psychic, you end up seeing how everything is interconnected. It reestablishes that cohesion in your life, which actually causes a reduction in anxiety. So I think
isn't being separate the illusion that causes everybody the pain? I think fundamentally.
Yeah. And it's perfect that you'd say that, because your website, SuzanneWalsh.net, I think your slogan is peace through connection, is it not?
That is my slogan.
That's great. What about you, Chris? What do you think these are for?
I think they're for reflection. It's to give people restoration of their own personal agency, remind them of their resources, their worth, who they are, their values that they represent. And it takes a look at your own personal inventory of what you bring to the table and how you can champion your higher values than anything, and overcoming your own pitfalls and vices. And it's a lot less about prediction than it is about clarity. And it's not going to give you a guaranteed result or a very black and white picture. It gives you a language that champions what you already know.
Oh, that's so well said.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, less about prediction. That's a good point. I have said that to clients, even though I make predictions and I have premonitions. That's kind of the smallest piece of a reading. It's kind of like saying a reading is about knowing the future. It's kind of like saying the purpose of a teacher is to give you a passing grade. It's like, yeah, that's part of it, but it's so much bigger than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say, just because we didn't really cover this idea, is that like when I get clients who are grieving, in particular the loss of a loved one, which is not the only thing I do, but certainly, I got a lot of comments this week when I put this question to the Facebook crowd. And a lot of the clients wrote in with testimonials, some of them having had lost children. And during your grief process, a reading can connect you and show you evidence of survival after death through highly specific details, whether it be their name, how they died, their affectations, things about who they are, and things they've seen happen since they crossed over. Does anything come to either of your minds about things that stand out to you from the dead that have really helped your clients know that they're talking to the person that they lost?
So more recently than not, I've started hearing voices. It's something that I'm actively working on, is to be a better listener in general for the living and for the dead. And I started hearing specifics, and then I was trying to get this one lady's name because I got so many details about the person in spirit that she was looking to connect with. And all of a sudden I heard Donna. And I said, "No, Donna?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's two of them." And I said, "Donna and Mike." And she's like, "Those are the people that were with her on her very last breath. They took care of her." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, there's something very special about that." And I couldn't get this one particular detail, but I kept seeing in my mind a dish of candy, and then it zoomed in and it was a candy wrapper being pulled tight. And I just said, "There's something about candy. I know that's quite vague." And she burst into tears and was deeply emotional because I said the one word that was this lady's name was Candace. And I didn't even realize it. So the illusion that we know everything is smashed through in that moment, because it's a lot less about knowing than it is communicating what we're seeing.
Just say what you see. That was some
Say
of
what
the
you
best
see.
advice Suzanne gave me when I was just starting out, because she is like a mentor to me. She is my mentor in this work in particular. And I remember being nervous in the early days of doing readings. And Suzanne would call me down on the phone ahead of time and say, just don't say anything you don't see. Just say what you see. And if you see nothing, then give them their money back. What's the biggest that can happen? And something in that advice was the perfect advice at that time. Do you remember that, Suzanne?
I do. I do. Easy to say.
Yeah. And then to
But
do
Yeah.
it.
yeah, yeah, and to have confidence in what you see also, I would add, have confidence in what you see so that you'll say it like the candy wrapper. So
Yeah.
many things we don't know what they are going to mean, and then they mean something to the sitter.
Yeah, I have the same. I just said to a client, "Oh, your sister, she shows me a transplant." And before I could finish saying, I thought she was transplanting something from the garden. My client goes, "Oh my God, she died as a result of an organ transplant." But just the word. And the spirit got me to see that through transplanting of a rose. So very similar,
That's
very
right.
similar.
And I
Well,
love this daisy chain of mentorship. Suzanne's your mentor, you were my mentor, and
the
we're all
mentors.
learning from each other.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
for
sometimes
sure.
I'm a dementor at times. I've not been the
Welcome
best
to mentorship.
mentorship program. Yeah, sign up for that. Let's bring a friend of the show on. She's Joyce Aldrich, who runs the Joyce Aldrich Show. I just appeared as a guest last night, actually, and see what Joyce has to weigh in on this. And Joyce, you're on the show. Let's bring you on in, my friend. Hi, Joyce.
There's Joyce. Hey,
Well, my
Joyce.
good Suzanne and Bro, of course, we were just on our program last night. You did an amazing reading for Pat. Got to listen to that. And Chris, nice to see you. How's married life?
Oh, it's good. You remember. Wow. Yeah.
I
Things are really
forget.
good. It's good to see your face too.
So nice to see you too, way out there out west. But yeah, I guess I'm going to be honest. I'm calling because Well, I'm always pushing away relationships and because of certain things in my life. And I know Bro told me, well, he told me about a year or so ago, maybe in a couple of years. And I think you even told me something, but I can't see it anywhere. I can't feel it. I can't see it. Am I supposed to be envisioning it? Should I make a vision board or something? Should I make a collage? What do I do? Do I write it down? Do I put it under my pillow? Do I ask the tooth fairy to help me? What do I do? I don't know because I'm really afraid. I'm afraid of having a relationship, and I don't know what to do. And
So
note I can
I,
leave. You don't have to
I
answer.
yeah, I just pulled some cards for you because that's the tools that I use to reiterate what I'm seeing and sensing. And you have two aces here. You've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, which signify that the ground that you walk upon is fertile for emotional growth and an opportunity that would be there. It's external to yourself. And the Queen of Wands tells me that you need to step outside of your comfort zone and advocate for yourself. It's putting yourself out there, broadcasting what you are looking for, essentially, all the values that you represent, and take a chance. It seems like it's worthwhile and it would burn a little bit brighter than you've imagined before. So it seems like you have all the right ingredients for a fresh start. It's just trusting the ground that you walk upon and taking a chance with it.
Makes sense. And I'm the Queen of Wands. I'm a Leo, so that makes so much sense there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's great.
And I'll give
Yeah,
Suzanne if Suzanne sees anything to add.
No, I don't right now. I was listening and I'm thinking, yeah, go for it.
Are you on any kind of dating apps right now?
no, and I've had people tell me go on a dating app, but they scare me. You
They scare
know,
everyone. They should scare you. Have healthy discernment when you put yourself out there, both in person and online, always. There's so many different types of people that are predatory, both online and in person, but more so online. So the key is to showcase what you'd consider a fun side, a serious side. If you have an animal, showcase a picture with that. So that way there's a sense of care and trust. And then for your write up, if you do choose to do online, it's beneficial to just share what makes you special, what makes you unique, and all the things that we try to hide from everyone else. That way we show strength. And if you want to meet someone in person, I think the best thing to do is dress up like you would for a first date and go sit somewhere that you could leave an empty seat next to you. Read a book in a cafe. Find somewhere that you can make room for spirit to enter.
have done that. Yeah, no, but that's a good recommendation. I think what it is for me, I don't want to I don't want to live with anybody. I just like companionship, just someone I can go out with and have, like just hang with, and it's
You
hard
want a
because
best friend.
yeah, I'm gonna be 70. Yeah, that's not a female, you know. So, I mean, I have lots of female friends, but it's something that's a little different, just yeah.
And
And
I also
someone
keep getting the name Mark. It's an M name that's pretty prominent, and that could be someone perhaps that you are considering or someone that you may be drawn to. But do you know someone like that currently?
besides Carney, no. And he is not on my bucket list.
Chris, could it be just the initial, like a Mark or a Mike or something like that?
Mark or a Mike? It's an M initial that's pretty prominent.
I was married to a Mike and I lived with a Mike.
You've got a type.
Oh,
An M type.
no. If I have another Mike, I might have a mic drop. I don't know.
That's
Wow.
Oh,
amazing.
that's I'm sorry to be making fun, but
Oh,
it,
please. Yeah.
seriously, it has not been good relationship wise. I'm not the cats are about as close as I get, and good friends like, that I have. But yeah. Well, anyway, that's okay. And
Through your work. You're always working on something.
Your
yeah,
creative
yeah,
projects.
whether it's art or the podcast or
Yeah. I think through your work. Just have to be open. I don't think it's that there's no people around you. I think it's like you said, you're afraid.
well, no people because I do everything at my home, with Muggins here, you see. Yeah.
Fur babies.
Oh, well, there's a way to get your work to be to have a connection to the outside world. That's
Mhm.
where you meet people, but you're
Right.
comfortable in that persona, you know? It doesn't have to be your romantic persona.
No. Oh,
So
that's good because I don't really have one. I'm
Exactly.
serious. I'm too serious. I'm very serious, and I think, and I can't mention UFOs first date. I just can't.
Don't show them you're crazy until the fourth date.
Good
Thank
advice.
you.
I just want to
That's
take
great.
this opportunity to remind the callers we're opening the lines now for general calls. Joyce, you are a great friend of the show, and I thank you for your call. Remember,
Thank you.
guys, when you call in, please activate your camera if you don't mind. You don't have to, but it does make it more interesting. And hang on the line. If I don't get to you right away, I will get to you, okay? So, Joyce, yeah, good advice. I would keep that M name on file. I mean, it very often is the case, especially with Chris, I've noticed. Things tend to come true down the line.
All righty, mighty. Anyway, big hugs, you guys. Take care, and got to get you back on the show, Chris, and also Suzanne. So take care. Have a wonderful evening, and everyone enjoy your readings.
Yeah, you too.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Joyce.
All right, we're going to bring on another caller. Now, we've got Judy waiting on the line so patiently. Hi, Judy. Let's bring you in. And another thing, guys, when you do call in, make sure if you're listening to the live stream on Facebook, just focus on your Zoom call and close your Facebook connection so that you're not having us come through two lines at the same time. All right, let's see if Judy gets in here. Hi, Judy. All right, now you just have to connect your audio, which it's doing. Awesome. Should be a moment.
You know that song, Judy? Judy, 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 do you love me? No?
That's
Judy,
coming
Judy,
to
Judy, do you care? Is that before your time, Kath?
Is that Kid Cudi?
Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Hi there. Okay, so we're only getting your we're not seeing your screen. That's okay. I'll just see if I can. Judy, if you try hitting your camera icon, it might shut it off for us. That's okay if you do. I'll stop the video for you. Okay, perfect. So, do you have a question for either of us?
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Judy. Do you have a question?
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find my recorder.
Don't worry about that. We can hear you fine. Just ask your question. Can you hear us?
Yes. I would like to know. I'm in a long-term relationship. Yes. Okay. I'm messed up here. I'm doing something wrong.
We can hear
You're-
you.
Okay. I turned off one.
We can hear
In
you,
your
Judy.
relationship or technically?
Yes. I'm in a relationship for 20 years.
Hmm.
I'd like to know if our our relationship would get better. Like our communication skills.
Yeah. Judy, 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 do you love me?
Yes.
That's why you're singing that song. Right. Seems
Oh,
like you have a
yeah.
connection, Suzanne, so I'll let you lead the way here.
Well, you want to know if it's going to get better.
Yeah.
I think it is going to get better. I mean, that's just a straight up prediction. I think it is going to get better because, it doesn't take a lot for things to get better if you want them to in this circumstance. Just has to everybody put down their guns,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, just stop and things will improve. It's really that simple. But everybody, I feel like you guys have got it really to the point of like, everything is like just like a live wire. And so, it's really a matter of making a truce, an agreement to start like all bets are off. It has to start from zero. You took it to the end, right? Of distrust and not speaking nicely to one another, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it can come back. It's just, but everyone has to put down their weapons and start over. And it is, and I just keep getting, if you love, you have to be brave about loving. It's
Yeah.
a bit like why it's really it's going to take courage to go forward. But you will have a positive outcome.
Okay, great.
But it's
That's
going to
great.
take courage, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Now, did you have something you wanted to add, bro, Chris?
Bro, anything?
No, not yet.
So, Judy, I see you moving in multiple different directions. You're quite strong with your energy. And there's also a concern for spending a lot of time in the past emotionally, looking back at a time or an era, perhaps involving children or a time period where that sometimes perhaps didn't even exist. It's a time that you look back on fondly or a moment that is spent too much in nostalgia. So, this can also lead to a state of depression, hoping for something to come back to that or wanting to recreate something that has played itself out. But you have all the tools and resources to transform the landscape around you, to start fresh, to initiate, to take action. But it's up to you to step into that, to communicate your needs. I always see relationships as two people coming together. And you should never stop having date nights. It's almost like running a company. You should ask more questions, talk about what you've overcome together, and then don't be afraid to dream a little bit bolder into the future. Acknowledge each other's emotions more often. Ask each other more than just how your day was. It's shutting the TV off and enjoying conversations sometimes. It's getting outside of a comfort zone or out of the groove that's holding you hostage. And then I also get the R name. Is it an R initial for your partner? Is it like Robert or something?
No.
Is that someone that's close to you? A Robert or an R name?
Um,
RO?
no, I can't think of anybody with an R.
Oh, go fish. But yeah, it's really not about standing your ground and looking back at the past and spending too much time in nostalgia anymore, and creating something fresh from where you're standing together, acknowledging each other's emotions and what you've overcome and how you can move forward. And sometimes it's as easy as asking them, how do you see this going forward?
Okay.
Giving them space to feel listened to and validated.
Okay. I'll try that. We're bad with communicating with each other.
Well, that's what can tug away at the integrity of any relationship, whether romantic or professional. And it's always something that people can improve on as well. Active listening takes a lot of work. It's not wanting to reply for the sake of giving your own opinion or having to be heard. It's asking the right kind of questions, more than just how you are. What are you learning? How did you overcome it? Something I witnessed about you. This is what I learned about love through you in our time together. People need to know those things while they're still alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that into consideration.
One last thing, just go straight for the heart. You accept that person how they are. That otherwise, there's no point. You're not going to change anybody.
Right.
People can decide they want to change themselves, but you have to accept them that you love this person.
Yeah.
Point final. I mean, that's the bottom line. And so, you love them, and if you're leading from there, you can't really go wrong. You just have to keep remembering that. Is this what, that old saying, is this what love does, Is love like going, you did this before, you did it again,
Yeah.
Probably not, So you just have to keep reminding yourself.
Do you see that getting better with the blame game going on?
Yeah. Yeah, because you're going to remind yourself that I love this person. And when you do it, it shifts. The miracles happen. You start leading from love and leading from acceptance, and then the other person does it as well.
A relationship only takes one hero. Thank you very much for your call, Judy. We're going to get into a call with Alexandria. So hopefully this works for Alex. And then we've got a lot of calls, guys. You've lit up the lines, Chris.
Didn't even put it out there.
Yeah, it's great. It's your beautiful blue
bigger
eyes.
Forces at work.
Bigger forces. Hi, Alexandria. Welcome to the show. Do you have a question?
Hi.
Hey there. Do you have a question or a comment?
Sorry, I'm kind of in a public place right now. I'm trying to go somewhere.
You look like you're in witness protection program. Are you okay?
I'm just at my daughter's hockey game, actually.
Okay, tap your nose if you're in trouble. Here, I'll put my sunglasses on too,
Yeah,
so you're safe.
exactly, right?
Yeah,
Let's
now it's
do
time
it.
for the shades. We're all going to match. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay, well,
Alex.
I'm outside now.
Now we all match.
So,
Yeah.
There we
a
go.
few years ago, I had a reading with you, and it was mainly about my relationship. Um, See, like every time I talk to you guys, like I think about what you've said to me, but when it comes to like talking about it out loud, I can't find the words to say.
That's all right. That's all right. Now, when you say you had a relation, you mean the reading with me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Great.
I think you're like, because I was confused at the time and didn't really couldn't clarify, but like I think you said like I was like in between relationships. You're like talking. I think you're talking about my ex as well as my current partner now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And something about like
Not good to lie to your parents, man.
that you can't see, like something about not seeing us getting married and that he's not the right one for me and stuff like that. I'm starting to see certain signs with him that I didn't see before.
Oh, I see. Okay. And do you have 2 children in total?
Yes.
Okay, because I see you mentioned your daughter. Do you have a son as well?
Yes.
Okay, great. And we must have, because I don't remember really any details. Dude, we must have spoken how long ago? Years, right?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. My sense on this is that also it's like a blended family. Are the kids from different dads or not with this particular gentleman?
Different dads. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
and
blended family.
blended. And did he have a daughter with someone else?
I don't know. I don't think so. He has a son.
Oh, he has a son? Okay, well, I'll accept that
Yeah.
only because it's not coming because your daughter's got her hockey game, so it's all about her tonight. Okay, so now just to get caught up to speed, has there ever been a Brendan, Brian, or a B name for you in your life romantically?
No.
Keep that on file. Keep that in the back of your mind. I don't know what that has to do with, but sometimes you get a little nugget, and it's for the future. It's funny because I'm not really detecting anything terrible in your current relationship other than I'm getting a janky feeling like a power struggle. Like, it's like he might make arbitrary decisions, just decide to do things without letting you know, or tell you he's on board with something and then suddenly not go along with you on it. Is it like that where you're not on the same page, it feels like?
Yeah. And he's got a bit of anger issues, so it's like I feel like I kind of have to hold back when it comes to saying certain things to him.
He's
Out of like,
hallucinating several things over top of the relationship, over top of you. Some of it is his mother, some of it is his ex, some of it is his own sort of compilation of what he thinks the world is, and women in particular. So he's not really seeing where you're coming from. So you guys really are on different pages. When I say that, I really mean it. And this is essentially a communication issue, but also he has to be in some form of therapy. And I almost choke saying that because I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he thinks he's a problem or that his view of things is a problem. So he's not self-aware to make those changes that he needs to make. Does that make some sense to you?
yeah, I've actually tried to tell him at the beginning of our relationship that he should go to therapy, because when we were first dating, things were really, really rocky. Like, just you would go from 0 to 100 real quick. But I at the time didn't understand from his perspective as to why he was reacting the way that he was. But I actually think it's just from him being in past relationships that haven't worked out, and childhood trauma as well.
You're right. And I think that he tries to make up for it with grand gestures, like wakes up and decides he's going to get a bunch of steaks that day. And if you dare not forgive and forget the past and don't just find what he's doing to be the best thing on earth, then that will keep him embroiled and seething. He compartmentalizes, but he also denies his part and his responsibility. He's on the fast track to being an old guy who's alone if he doesn't shape up. And I don't mean to be, so blunt about it, but that's where I see him headed if he's not careful. Like, you're his chance to wake up. And I feel really like you're at the end of your rope. This has been a couple of years now that you've been not sure if this is what you really see for yourself in your future. About 2 years, 2.5 years. Is that about right for you?
Yeah, it's actually 2021 where I was just like, felt myself disconnecting.
Yeah, it's tough. Do any of our other psychics have insights on this one?
So I've pulled some cards on your behalf here as well, and there's a real connection.
Sunglasses, sorry.
Well, you inspired us, Alex.
Sorry
Just to
for
make you feel
interrupting.
safe, yeah, and keep you on your toes. So it seems like there's a real connection here, a shared desire for something lasting, but it's being challenged by imbalance. One partner is trying to hold everything together, often at the cost of their own emotional regulation, and that kind of constant adjusting can be exhausting. So it seems like there's a strong need for control in the relationship, and someone who may struggle to express vulnerability and instead defaults to dominance or rigidity. If that control turns into anger or reactivity, it creates an environment where emotional safety is compromised. So that kind of pattern doesn't just block intimacy, it can erode over time. But the Ten of Cups also shows up, and I'd be shocked if there wasn't an Aries involved in this situation. So is his birthday in April or late March?
His birthday's in October.
Oh, so
Yeah.
there's a domineering presence. I've got the Emperor here, and that tends to represent someone who sees themselves as quite dominant or controlling. And still, the vision for a deeply fulfilling partnership exists, but there is love here. There's potential, but it won't thrive under tension or emotional volatility. So the relationship needs more than hope. It needs boundaries, accountability, and a shared commitment to emotional growth. Otherwise, one person will keep overcompensating with the other one stays stuck. And then is it a J name? Is it like Jason or someone? Is that someone that you're involved with?
His name is Chris, but my ex is James.
Something to look at here.
I think it's the fall and the J name. I have a strong sense that Chris is seeing the future. What do you think, Chris?
I feel the same, but it's not up for me to decide if you exit this relationship or more so dissolve. But I feel like it's been living under someone else's thumb for far too long, from what I sense. And anytime there's control or dominance or issues that don't belong to you that you can't really resolve and require professional help sometimes, I think you've done all that you can. It's holding on for hope and a vision, but for the sake of what? And what's the cost and price of admission for this relationship?
I already feel like I'm experiencing the brain fog, the disassociation's already there. I've just been through a lot in life in general, so I'm just...
Well,
You're a survivor, and you've survived so much more in the past. And I'm not saying that it gets any easier up ahead, but I do see you with a partnership, one that grows into old age with. So whether or not it's this person or perhaps another J initial going forward is up to you. But if the price of admission for a relationship is too much and you've done your due diligence to communicate your needs and they're not being met or compromisation isn't on the table, I would cut my losses and find someone who does represent those values.
Yeah, because we're kind of like, we're not on the same page as is, because he wants marriage and I don't want it. And I kind of feel selfish because this is something that he wants, but it's something that I don't want. So I kind of feel like sometimes like, am I holding him?
No.
Yeah. Or am I holding him back from somebody that, will actually love him the way that he needs to be loved as well?
I think you've answered your own question right there. If anything, you'd be opening the door. It's a lot less allowing fear-based thoughts to dictate what you want for someone else. There's that control as well. You want to control his outcome so he lands on his feet. So surrendering to that, and you've already made up your mind that it's not in your best interest to commit to this person because it may be like putting on golden handcuffs. You could be stuck in a situation that is not mutually respective or beneficial emotionally to grow into. And if you're not able to laugh at yourselves now, that doesn't tend to age very well. So I would, you've already answered a lot of your own questions here that you
I
don't see
love
yourself
that
going
you
forward with
said
this.
golden handcuffs, Chris, because when Alex, you brought up marriage with him, I immediately said, oh, marriage to him is a jail cell. It's captivity. And then Chris uses golden handcuffs as a symbol. So yeah, this doesn't look like it's the correct relationship still, unfortunately. But I do think that the next major relationship in your life will be the right one. So, and Chris makes a good point. You're a survivor, but there is a difference between surviving and living. And I think that distinction is what you're about to make. You're making that leap and you're letting go. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your call, Alex. We're going to bring a caller in who's been waiting patiently. Ashanti will be on the line with us shortly. Hi, Ashanti. Your audio is just connecting now. Should hear you in a moment. Hi there.
Hi.
Hey, where are you
I'm
calling
on
from?
live.
You're on live.
Sorry.
Where are you calling from?
Yes, I was what sorry, Han. Sorry, bro. I was watching your live in Facebook, that's why.
Oh, at
I'm
the same
redirecting
time.
here.
Wonderful, wonderful. No, I think you're a client of mine. Your name is familiar to me.
Yes. Yes,
Fabulous.
I've been you get me reading almost every year actually.
Great. Well, this is a perfect opportunity to speak to some of my esteemed colleagues. Do you have a question for anybody on the panel?
Um, I'm not sure in particular which one, but where I am right now, I know that our last reading, you said that this person is not um, great for me. And I went to a few readings as well, and that's what it says on my reading. Um, However, I am an Aries, so every time I would cut off people, it's cut off kind of thing. So I always take your advice. Um, Anyhow, I feel like even if I open my door to another opportunity, um, I'm still going back to the person that I'm trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what is the pull between us? Is it my wounded childhood, or is a real thing? I'm not certain now.
So I've just pulled some cards on your behalf, and I wish you didn't elaborate too much into your circumstance there,
Okay,
just stuck with your
sorry.
question. That's how you'll get somebody who could be predatory in this industry, and that's something we were discussing earlier, is that authentic psychic readings tend to come when you don't even have to pose a question sometimes. It may just be what you need to hear. And it's more
Mm-hmm.
about guidance than control, clarity over control than anything. So the first card I pulled while you jumped on the line here was the Three of Swords. And this can be quite a difficult card to look at artistically, but it tells me there's a deep wound here that still lingers, something that you left behind or felt betrayed or abandoned or not chosen. And it's not about heartbreak, it's about the emotional patterns that formed around it. So that experience may have shaped how you approach love now, guarded or with a tendency to look for structure and reassurance before opening up fully. And then I have the Hierophant. So this might be a craving towards someone who is more meaningful connection wise. This
Mm-hmm.
is um, also representative of two different signs here. I've got the Taurus sign and then Capricorn as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so it seems like the dynamics may be repeating old pain, or there's a pull towards intensity, maybe even attraction to people who feel familiar emotionally. And that's not a flaw, it's a human instinct to resolve what was once left open. but it can trap you in cycles where control or power struggles or emotional unavailability can take over. And lastly, the devil card, which is also quite, this is more about holding patterns. It's less about an evil, malicious force, and it's more about things that are detrimental to our well-being. So it seems like you're on a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle, and it
Mm-hmm.
feels like you're just going through the same thing, meeting the same people over and over again. And this usually represents a circumstance or person external to yourself that can rope you in and make you feel like you can't open your consciousness to other peripheral viewpoints. It's feeling obligated to someone rather than choosing your own autonomy. So you're being asked to trust that love doesn't have to hurt to be real, and that real commitment doesn't confuse or manipulate. It supports, teaches, and honors you. So if you can start saying no to what feels addictive and yes to what feels steady, you'll create space for the kind of connection you've actually been craving, and not just the one that you're used to surviving.
Mm.
And then is your partner the one that you keep going back to, the toxic person?
Mm-hmm.
Are they a Capricorn or a Taurus or even
A
a Virgo?
Taurus. A Taurus.
Yeah, he's a Taurus.
Yeah.
So they tend to hold on to things. Not all of them. This is a generalization, but the way that I see astrological symbols in my mind, it's colorful. So I get one color per each astrological sign. And Taurus tends to want to collect things. They want
Mm-hmm.
people to feel like they are part of their extension of their own energy. And so I don't even know if they have awareness that they are being this
Mm.
toxic person for you. So it's a matter of you breaking the chains that bind you to get to a place of freedom yet again, to heal your heart and to leave space open for that healing to commence.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It's a lot. It's not easy. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Um, and it's we all have vices, and it's we never lose our demons. We simply learn to live above them. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to make that decision when you feel that pull, and it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier to just go over there and see them, and sometimes have those needs met, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So I would hit the exit button and delete, block, and don't come back.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And you will have love again. It's something that is on the other side of this, and it's just up to you to choose what you do with that freedom that you have. It's using your heart's content, and not so much about making a wish, but taking action in a different pattern. You've been
Mm.
going back to the same kind of person over and over again. And one thing Bro actually taught me when I went through a very difficult relationship transition, uh,
Mm-hmm.
he said, you can light a candle and imagine the best circumstances playing out in your mind for your ex-partner. You don't think they deserve it, but in doing so, you'll transform your own emotions. You'll alchemize all the residual bits of frustration, feelings of lack, self-worth, and you transition that into something beneficial, and it opens up the road to true and genuine love. I don't even think Bro knows this, but after I did that, I wrote down values that I'm looking for in a person, not a shopping
Mm-hmm.
list. And the date
Mm-hmm.
at the top is my now husband's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So that's an exercise that you can try out.
Thank you. I will take that. I am actually writing it down. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Suzanne, I saw you looking like you were going to chime in for a second there. Do you have anything to add?
Well, a couple of things just popped in. One is that if you find yourself in the same situation over and over again, I sometimes use the example of molecules, where you have the plus and minus, and the way things, you need the balance of both. And if you have too many pluses, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to attract like the same number of minuses and for it to work. So it'll be the same configuration if you're the same configuration
Yeah.
with yourself. So that's why it's like, oh, it looks like a different person, but it's the same pattern. So if you're like, think that love means you having to do all the fixing and all the giving,
Mm-hmm.
and then you end up being upset when it's not coming back to you because look what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You're very giving, and then
Mm-hmm.
feel underappreciated, and that
Yeah.
keeps happening over and over again. And you're like, look, I see all these other people, they don't even give half as much as I give, and they get way more back. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even a real bitch, I'm a nice woman. Why am I getting treated like this? All that stuff.
Exactly.
Then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, because there's too many pluses there. and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you're getting the people that have extra minuses. So it's like the if you want to be an overgiver, you're going to get an overtaker, kind of, because it's the balance. So
Yes.
you have to
I
sort
love
of
that, Suzanne.
change for you. You know, it's not about the people you're picking.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what you think it should look like and how it feels. You know, for you to be selfish, you know, it would be a crime against humanity. And
Yeah.
you being selfish would be you saying like I want something, but that's, you
Yes.
know, so those kind of things are not, it's not true. I'm just saying, you know, it's just stuff from the past. It's, you know, and if I do everything right and if I give my whole heart here on a platter, then I'm going to get back, you know, and that belief system is in there. And you have to look at, okay, what is it that I believe that isn't working for me? Forget about the other people.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's okay if you say, you know what, I feel like nobody's giving anything to me. You even say that and you're like, oh, I'm going to be struck dead for caring about what I get, you know? Because
Yes.
for you, love means only considering what they get. And you've got it on a high ideal, but underneath is somebody who's a human, who's like,
Yes.
hey, you know, what about me? And that's okay. So just
Okay.
allow yourself to be human, and then later you can be a saint.
That's a funny one.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you very much for your
So
call,
hopefully that
Ashanti.
helps.
And
Thank-
you know, just for the listener, the viewer, I mean, it's always interesting to listen to these readings, and maybe you find a nugget of in it for yourself. But also receiving the reading yourself with your unique situation, it's like so much of Ashanti's responses are validating. Yeah, that is the dynamic. That is how I feel. You know, and it's pretty amazing. So I think just before I take our next call, why don't we drop our websites, guys? Because you know you do this professionally. People can get their private session with you. Chris, what's your website?
www.thetarotmedium.com.
Perfect, easy enough. Thetarotmedium.com. And Suzanne, what's your site?
It's SuzanneWalsh.net.
SuzanneWalsh.net. And what we'll do, we'll bring on iPhone user 239. You'll have to let us know your name. Connecting the audio. Okay, let's see if this works. And for anyone else calling in, we had Maya in the line, but Maya, you dropped off. So if you're still listening, call back. Everybody stay in the wait room when you're in the room, please, so that we can bring you on.
I love when you show the cards, Chris.
Oh, I'll show them more. Yeah, I
I
usually
just,
just stare down at them.
yeah, but I really like seeing them. The devil card's a particular favorite of mine. Not that I, just because it means, you know, it's always that vacillation between the tyrant and the victim.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly it. I love that saying of if you're an overgiver, you can expect to get an overtaker. That's amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that was
We could,
an interesting insight, interesting dynamic. Okay, we're going to bring Vivienne online. iPhone 239, you're having trouble connecting, so just give us a moment. We'll keep you muted for now. Vivienne, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Do you have a question for any of us tonight?
Yes, I just wanted to know, I'm having some kind of like, I guess something around that's like trying to give a message, and I was just wondering if it was possible to maybe zoom in on it.
Well, there's two things happening, I sense. One, there's a man's energy around you. Did you feel it was masculine as well?
Yes.
And then the other thing I get is another phenomena disconnected that you might have thought was part of this phenomena. Have you been seeing numbers like 1111 or 333, things like this?
Yes.
So that's a
Yes.
separate phenomena. And that phenomena is your soul telling you that you're going through a change in the chapters of your life. So as one chapter comes to a close, a new one's about to begin, and it's time to just take stock of all your lessons, the things you've been working through in your psyche. Because like a caterpillar becomes the butterfly, you're growing wings and tools for the next challenge coming your way. So that's what the numbers mean. Now, in terms of this gentleman that's around you, I don't think it's anything negative, and I don't think it's a stranger. Although I get the sense that you have felt that it might not be a relative to you. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I can't quite make out who it would be.
Yeah, I'm just getting a granddad figure, but what's interesting is he doesn't look old to me. Did you have a grandfather you never knew because he was too young?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that John or is that somebody else?
Um,
Unless he's connected to a John, maybe that's in his family. I'll leave it with you, the J name, J-O.
I did not, yeah, because I did not meet any of my grandfathers.
Yeah, so just keep
'Cause,
that on file. Was the one that died really early your father's side, do you think?
the one on my father's side was around 40-ish
Yeah,
when
quite
he
young.
died.
Quite young. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm also seeing military uniform, like a connection to uniform. Was he serving for a short time in his life, or is that somebody else?
He was in the army, but my father was the one that went like to World War II.
He was deployed, Dad was. Okay, Dad's around protecting you, so you should know that this is not a dark entity or anything like that or a ghost. I think that they're coming around lately because you're going to have an opportunity to connect with that side of the family more due to some circumstance that brings everybody together. Sometimes it's as random as a cousin saying, hey, we're doing a family reunion, we'd like you to come. Other times it's often, it could be a funeral as well, but I do feel that's why they're coming around. So you've got two separate phenomena, and that's why that gentleman's around. Yeah, he's one of your granddads. Did anybody else on the panel sense anything?
You just nailed everything that I was thinking.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, Chris, you were sensing the same stuff, and Suzanne too.
Yeah. When you look back, I'm just nodding. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I feel.
Okay, so we got confirmation. So that's who it is,
You're not able
Vivian.
to hear? No.
All right, thank you very much for your call.
I wonder if there's an Alphonse anywhere.
Well, maybe it's for one of our other callers, because I'm gonna bring in Valerie right now. And we'll see if Valerie connects. Hi, Valerie. If you connect your camera and your microphone, we'll be able to hear you. Just have to tap the little microphone icon. Tap those icons, folks. There you go. Hi, Valerie.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Are you a first-time caller?
I am.
And where are you calling from?
I'm from California.
Lovely. I love the color on the wall. Okay, so do you have a question for us?
I from what I've heard, it might be too soon, but my my soulmate passed away like
days.
2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was very unexpected, and just trying to make some kind of contact.
Absolutely. Well, you've come to the right place.
Was that an accident?
No.
I thought it was sudden, like, and I was tasting something almost metallic, almost like No, I would usually get this if there's some poison in the system or a drug, medication, something like this. What was the cause? Did they say?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Okay. Well, I think it's an accident in the sense that he wasn't intending.
No.
Right. So that's probably what it is. Yeah. Suzanne's tapped into that too. The R initial seems to jump out at me. Is that someone on Earth that he's related to? Because I feel he has family.
Rosa is the person that found him.
Okay, so that's an R there. There's family that he might have had before you, like you say you're soulmates, and I think you are, but was this a late life love? Like you've been together for the last only few years or even 10, 11 years?
Year and a half.
A year and a half. Oh, so the 1-2. Okay, that might be why. Yeah. He's got nice hair. I feel like his hair he's very proud of. He's very proud of his hair. And he makes me feel, and I know Chris is picking up something, so I'll just quickly say, he makes me feel like you were like soulmates because it's like love, best friend, common interests. He woke something up in you that you thought you had closed or forgotten about. Like you hadn't been able to open your heart for some time to people. And so you totally weren't expecting this relationship. And then when it came along, it really helped you heal in a lot of ways.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. So true.
Sorry, Chris, feel free to chime in here.
So I'm seeing all sorts of stuff. I saw like a muscle car type persona. I don't know if that was something that he worked towards, or it's like a sense of like almost like a speedy car, looks like a muscle car type thing. So that could be a nod to mechanic or working with mechanics. So is that something that he did?
He loved motorcycles and fast cars.
Yeah. And then was his birthday on the 7th or on the 7th month in July? Because I keep seeing the number 7 as well. And then is that him? And there's also a Gemini. So is it a birthday that's coming up for you or for
Gemini, I have two sons. One's birthday was on the 24th, and then one's birthday is today. They're both Gemini, both my sons.
Yeah. He
And
really took a liking to them. He really enjoyed
yeah.
the place that you gave him. I think he saw himself as stepping into a role of fatherhood. There was a sense of shame with this. So leading into it, I think he was trying to hide something, or he wasn't too proud of what he was doing after hours, so to speak. But he's trying to clean up everything. And I think this was just a misstep, wrong place at the wrong time type thing. And then I also get a D name as well. Is that his name, or is that one of your children?
Devin is my 24-year-old that just had a birthday.
Devin?
Yes.
Yeah, there's something
They
really
were very,
special
they were
about the
very
connection.
close.
Yeah, did he take him to a baseball game or something right before his crossing?
No, but they did have a really great relationship. And we met in AA, and he was almost 2 years sober. So I think this was just a really bad choice. He had been sad, and I think he felt like he could do it one more time. And with that drug, you just don't know.
No, you don't. I'm so sorry for your loss. He's absolutely around, and it's so fresh that he's just witnessing everything and all the echoes of everything that he left behind. So he did not mean to leave you so soon, and it doesn't underscore or undermine the love that you had. It continues on, and he's very much there with you. And he's looking out for your boys as well.
Suzanne, please chime in. I see you writing.
I just got the sense that he was super surprised he had made it this far.
He was.
He was like, and now he's like, well, it was almost inevitable.
Yeah, he had OD'd twice before and just walked away from it. Didn't even go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he thought he was getting a little cocky there.
he was. He thought nothing could kill him.
Yeah, I see him. He's showing me doing handsprings. Like So yeah, he thought nothing could kill him. But you were a real bonus for him, because he thought he would have been dead, So every day was an extra day, and I mean he told you that. You guys know that what you had. It was like a very very special connection there.
Yes.
And I sense that he's working on a couple of signs for you. He's going to do an aroma, so either tobacco or even a Old Spice kind of scent will appear and then disappear after a few breaths, you'll find. He's really working on dreams, but it's hard to break through grief at first, so the dreams will emerge in the coming months. And I hear some noise in the kitchen. Do you ever get something about like rattling of forks or spoons or a coffee cup or something?
I've heard things. He cooked all the time. He was one of those people who could just go into the kitchen and take your junk and just make a gourmet meal out of it. He cooked all the time.
Yeah, you're going to have an event happen in the kitchen, and it's going to be a paranormal one. That'll show you that he's with you. That's going to be the signs he gives. That's what I was picking up.
A real dreamer.
He wanted to be an actor. He thought he was going to get his Oscar someday. So.
From what I can see of him, he's got the looks, the height, the cheekbones. He's quite lovely. And then the other sign that I'm getting drawn to is Virgo. Is he an earth sign?
It was January 8th was his birthday.
Capricorn. Yeah.
Very
he's
earthy,
there. He's
aren't
with
they?
you.
I don't know the astrology well, so.
What's that?
I don't know the astrology well, so is Capricorn an earth sign? Just for our viewers.
Yeah, Capricorn's an earth sign, so
awesome.
That usually just paints traits that they would associate with themselves. So that's how I can kind of see them. So
Fascinating.
Capricorn is an earth sign.
Fascinating.
What you were saying at first about I had just I was going through a divorce after 24 years of marriage, and I had really lost myself. So that resonates so much with me because I didn't think I could ever love, you know. And then I met him in AA, and it was just like a lightning bolt. And he helped me heal through my divorce. And he was so a wonderful man to me, and he was just beautiful. So that really meant a lot to me that you could see that.
Well, that's what he was showing me, is that, and that's what the relationship was for. Even though your soul planned to meet each other at the end of his journey and his impact is to open your heart again. And I know right now it feels splayed open like you're on a surgical table, but just one day at a time. And don't make any big plans this year, big moves, things like that. Just keep your sons, keep everything close to home, keep your cards close to your chest, and focus on healing. That's what's going to be right for you. And I do see you being extremely successful with AA and everything, and just, you're never going back to that. You found your happiness. It's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're creative also, aren't you?
I've been a dancer most of my life, ballet and all kinds of dance. Yeah.
And you can just, you don't just follow, you can also make it up. You have choreographic, choreographic abilities, if that's what you would put it. Yeah, yeah. Which is a separate skill, is it not?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I see that you're still able to do that. You're still somehow still part of you.
Might be
It's a
interesting
great
when you're
way
ready.
to do
When you're ready to heal and to participate in helping young people with that, maybe do a class or be part of something where you're facilitating those things as part of your healing journey when you're ready, Valerie, of course. But do you think that might be why you're sensing that, Suzanne?
That could be. I just know that your creativity is a good place for you to, like, it's just around you, and I see you twirling about. And, just even, it's a happy place. And so, yeah. And your fellow was pretty physical.
Yes, he loved to work out a lot.
Yeah, he's showing me
punching bag,
this kinda,
the weights. He was very fun. He liked to make his body look nice,
Yeah, very physical. So I don't know. You get a lot of joy through your body. So enjoy your body. That's probably coming from him.
Good point. Good point. Thank you again for your call, Valerie. And I want to respect your time, Suzanne and Chris. Do you have time for one more caller, guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Sure.
We'll try and bring on, now I've got Melanie awaiting in the line here. I don't think I brought you on before, Melanie, but let's see.
Hi, yes, I actually had a reading with you before too.
Oh, fabulous. Do you have a question for our panel?
Yes, so it was in regards to like the previous reading I had. You had mentioned that you saw me going into something medical.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was curious if you still saw that, and if you saw like maybe what type of medical I would be going into. I currently am like, I went through my degrees and everything, and I'm like a working professional in the IT field, specifically cybersecurity, but I have been thinking about making a change to medical.
All I see is psychological or something with the mind. What kind of medical have you thought of?
I thought of either nursing or maybe even going to medical school and becoming a full doctor, either like in anesthesia, I was thinking.
Well, that's interesting, because there's different kinds of medical degrees, and even if you became a full doctor, anesthesia you could think of as the mind, because your focus is consciousness. But also there are different areas. Maybe you're going to be a doctor in the area of ears, eyes, nose, throat, right? So some specialty there. I'm drawn to the head is all I could tell you. But I can't wait to hear what Suzanne and Chris might see about this.
So the first card that I pulled for you is the Queen of Cups, and it tells me that you're deeply empathetic and emotionally attuned. And these are qualities that are a natural fit for anyone healing. So immediately out the gate, this is all about healing and strength through sensitivity. And it usually represents medicinal elements too. So it seems like you're on the right track. And then the Knight of Pentacles has showed up, and this shows a slow, methodical progress. It might feel like it's taking forever or would go on forever, but you're building something with real integrity. And I get the sense through these cards, also combined with the World, which is this card, that you're meant to complete this. The energy here comes full circle and it's got all the momentum. It's a calling, not just a career. So these cards tend to indicate healing, a slow, methodical process, and then reaching a state of completion or very significant accomplishment. One that I usually get when somebody's graduated or gone through a very significant life change, the end of a chapter. So you've got everything it takes to move forward. I do see an element of, I know you're aiming for anesthesiologist, but be open to psychiatric nursing or something to do with the psychiatric element. There's something psychological that Bro touched on that I also feel pulled to.
Okay.
And I just have the sense that the thing you're going to specialize in hasn't been invented yet. That's what I don't
That's
know.
an
It's
interesting
like,
wrinkle.
yeah, like there's some you're going to go through and you'll have all the certifications you need, but there's going to be some new that like technology essentially that that will help you with whatever you do. And it could be to do with psychiatrics. It could be to do with I don't know, any manner of fields within the medical field. But I get the same sense as Chris also that you're headed.
Yeah, and if you already applied, because I get the sense that you're going to start this in 2026, is that right?
Yeah, that's when I was looking to start it.
Yeah. And is that, I get the sense, is your birthday the one in February, or is that when you're thinking of applying, or is there's something significant about that month?
Um, so I was thinking of applying towards like the January. I think it begins in January next year is like one of the programs beginning, but February is my grandmother's birthday.
Yeah, you'll be hearing news regarding your new career trajectory, I think, tail end of February. There's something to do with that.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
know. Oh,
it
sorry.
seems like you're on the right track with this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know like my current career, we like I work for like a federal agency, and I know that we're gonna be having like a change of head in February of next year. So I don't know if that might also have something to do with it.
Yeah, it seems like a pleasant surprise, and it would just be perhaps the final push that you need in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the right
Brilliant.
track, and I think you're making the right decision. It's just, I hope this reiterates that for you. And be open. I think a lot of people go into the medical professional or school with a dead set end goal, and that's great. But be open to movement and other options as well, because I do see you being drawn to something that you haven't yet discovered, and I think Suzanne's onto something with that as well.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Melanie. Now we're just going to do a quickie, a real quickie. We're going to bring Charlene in.
We can't stop now.
Can't stop now. Charlene, you're on the line. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi there.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now, Charlene, you're a friend of the show. You've called in a few times before.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been about a year, maybe.
Been a year. Okay. Do you have a question for the panel?
Just my career related, maybe for Chris, but yeah, I'm just wondering if I'm headed in the right direction with my career choices.
Okay, so the Emperor has shown up as your first card, and this is all about creating stability, control, and structure for yourself. This can be a domineering personality paving the way. If there's a door or wall in your way, knock it down, not just for you, but for everyone standing behind you. So this is taking control of your life, moving forward, being bold and dynamic with the structure that you create. So come up with a game plan as to what this looks like. It's not just about exiting your current situation and focusing on what you don't want. It's about initiating something new. So the Ace of Wands is starting something. This is an opportunity. These cards always tend to represent aces. They're all about fresh opportunities, stepping into a new place, a new identity. And this card is all about creativity, championing that inspirational spark and fanning it into flames. So it seems like you're on the precipice of a fresh start. I get the sense of there's also a very profound Aries here. So I don't know if that's you or a surrounding energy, That's the tail end of March, early April. And I feel like this would be someone external to yourself because I feel like you're more of a water sign. And then the last one is the Nine of Swords. So this is about overthinking. So it seems like you may be dwelling on anxiety or allowing fear-based thoughts to keep you up at night. There's a restlessness that comes with this. So it's not just yearning for where you're going next, it's taking action with it, being brave and stepping into a new identity. And then, or is there something to do with entering a union of sorts and they keep getting teacher elements? Is that something that you're going away from or going towards?
I'm changing roles. I'm a nurse and I'm in NP school right now, and I'm just wondering if it's the right decision for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and are you getting a lot of anxiety and sleepless
Yes.
nights?
Yes.
Yeah, you're overthinking things, and the best way
Okay.
to ground those, because you'll get any psychic on the internet telling you to ground your energy, and all it means is to come up with a game plan, to take all those thoughts that are pulling you in multiple different directions, keeping too many tabs open in an old browser, and writing down what it is you'd like out of this.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then are you a water sign like a Cancer, a Scorpio, or Pisces?
I am a Capricorn.
Oh, domineering. I love it. Yeah.
Now I know that's an earth sign. That's what I learned today.
We're learning
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. I have a son that's a April 24th. Daughter is October 15th.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so it's not just the pressure that you're putting on yourself, it's also the pressure of being a provider and nurturer for your children. So I think you'll land on your feet with this. It's just creating the stability that you need before taking action.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlene. And guys, I just want to wrap up thanking you very much for lending your talents tonight as a couple of psychics. And I love this. I like the idea. The whole concept of this show I got from Kelsey Grammer, of all people, who designed a reality show that was never allowed past pilot. He called it The Oracle, and you'd have a dais of psychics like Shark Tank. People could come up to them with any problem on Earth. And that's kind of what I wanted to do here. I want a panel of psychics that we can kind of help team up and tag team read people. And, a point we were talking about in the green room, Chris, you brought up so eloquently, not to put you on the spot, but that the client does have a responsibility in the process of a reading, right? Because a reading, I always say, is not a product. It's not like a steak in a restaurant that you could expect the same thing your friend got. It's a process that we're inviting our clients into. Do you want to speak to that at all? Or have I put you on the spot?
No, you couldn't put me on the spot if you tried. So it is a combination of energies. So when you approach somebody for a psychic reading, it's not wanting a black and white answer or yes and no answer to your question, or wanting to know what other people think about you, because that takes away from your own free will, which is what makes you so unique. So the best psychic readings are showing you what you already know about yourself, reminding you of your resources, your value, your worth, and all the circumstantial evidence around you that can support this, to remind you of where you're coming from, where you are, and illuminate possibilities of where you're going. It's a lot less about prediction, and it's not about control. It's about clarity.
I love it. I take my dad to some of the best psychics, and every time we walk out of an office, I mean, these psychics even blow me out of the water, and they've got my mom's nickname and my dad's name, even when they didn't even know my dad's name. He didn't introduce himself, and they would just, and all my family, you know us, Chris, we all have weird names. It's me, Holly, Darby, and the psychics will see all this. Dad will go, oh, that's so cool, but they didn't tell me anything I don't already know.
The fact that they could tell him any of that.
Yeah, that's the point, Dad. You're interconnected. He's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But he goes, I'm sure you're helping people.
I think one of the more interesting ones that I gave a refund to, and essentially said I'm no longer available to you and I can't in good conscience recommend you to anyone, is they came in for a mediumship reading, and I got so many accurate details that were irrefutable. Nobody could have known these special little moments, things that make evidence. And at the end, she was like, yeah, you still didn't answer my question. I'm like, what was your question? And she said, well, some money went missing, and I'm just looking at where I can find that. Do I need to speak to this person or that person? He needs to tell me. I said, I think we're done here. That's not something that you should ever approach somebody with. Otherwise, I'd be spitting out lottery numbers first and foremost. But to have a very black and white answer as to you need to go after this person and shake them down. Because I got the sense that it was a pretty violent ending, and that was confirmed, and all sorts of other details as well. So it doesn't really work the way that Hollywood portrays, and always keep your own agency and free will intact for that.
Well, if I may, you may have gotten that answer for her, but maybe he's protecting her from the fact that whoever took the money is dangerous.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because I got a password for somebody the other week to help her unlock her. So it's not like we can get specifics.
That was amazing.
Yeah, we can get specifics. It's just...
And I got the name of the pig. It's not up there with a password or danger, but it was, remember,
tell us.
Well, Mike Cordato's mom came and she said she wanted something that she was talking to Spirit before she arrived, and she said she wanted something that I couldn't have known. And I had a shower before the reading, and I thought, I got the name, what was it now? Oh my gosh, Ziggy, I think.
Squiggy or Ziggy.
Oh, Squiggy, that's it. It was Squiggy. And the only Squiggy I'm familiar with is from a TV show from before your guys' time called Laverne and Shirley. There was a character named Squiggy who had funny hair. And I thought, Squiggy, that's totally weird. And Mike Cordato was your age, bro, and a friend of yours, in fact. So he couldn't have been watching Laverne and Shirley. Anyway, to shorten the story, she came in and I said, does Squiggy mean anything to you? And she broke down. She said, we had two pet pigs, Iggy and Squiggy. And you could never have known that. And that was the very specific information.
Very specific.
She had asked for that. So sometimes, and there's been other occasions, where the person organizes it with the dead person before, but I don't think it's a fair sort of judgment on whether they're there or not. It can't be us setting the agenda is the bigger lesson. It's always a treat when we get those things, but as we know, doing this work, we're not in charge of what we get. And I think it's really important for the clients to realize too that they're not in charge of what we get.
The clients are not in charge. And yeah, the best thing is...
and neither are we.
It's
a commune of faith in a sense.
A commune of faith. I like that. So people could find you, Suzanne, to book a reading on your website, www.suzannewalsh.net. And
That's
Chris is thetarotmedium.com. My website will be listed. We'll list all the websites in the description of the show below. I want to thank you guys again for joining me. If you just hang on the line, we'll say goodbye on Zoom. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.